Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Studios here, and welcome back to another video. And today, I'm going to be doing a ranking of all Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies from worst to best with Mutant Mayhem now out. Yeah, so just a heads up before I give you my ranking. I have not seen every single Ninja Turtles movie. The ones that I have not seen are the straight to streaming ones. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those stuff, and the other streaming ones. And honestly, I don't really have any interest in watching it. Not that I think they will be bad, but maybe one day I can eventually watch them. But yeah, I'm not really passionate about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I do enjoy this universe. I do enjoy seeing the turtles together, and I enjoy mainly for the action and the fun of it. But I'm not really like a diehard fan that I would just be in a rush to watch anything Ninja Turtles related. I have not even seen any of the shows, with the exception of the Ninja Turtles Nickelodeon 2012 show. So yeah, without further ado, here's my ranking of all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, from worst to best. Yeah, this will only include the theatrical movies, the theatrical ones. So yeah, let's get right to it. At number 7, the worst Ninja Turtles movie, The Secret of the Snows. Oh, yep. Yep, you didn't see the one coming. Unless if you saw my rant on both Secret of the Ooze and Ninja Turtles 3. But I'm sorry, yo. I think this movie is not just the worst. Like, everything about this movie is just, like this movie is so childish and it's so cringy. And these turtles are just beyond annoying and irritating. And apparently the Jim Henson company worked in the movie, but then the end result ended up being this juvenile garbage. Like the designs are just garbage, which is sad because the first movie had really good CGI. And on top of that, the action scenes are incredibly fake. Like I said, like they don't even like hit each other. Like the action scenes are like they try way too hard to fight, but when they're fighting, they don't even touch each other. It feels like you're watching a stage play. Like the movie's so afraid of having their actors get hit. Like that's how safe this movie is, and it's just embarrassing considering that this is supposed to be action. But seeing how fake the action is just takes away the fun of it all. And this movie is never fun. The story is so bland and just at times it feels like it's just not doing anything new. It's not even a focus, and it's just incredibly boring. There's a teen boy who I couldn't care less about. But the biggest red flag this movie does is bringing back Shredder from the dead. Didn't Shredder get crushed by like a giant thing, and we see that he died in the first one? Yeah, apparently he came back to life. He doesn't get hurt, and yeah, he's just there, and he's pretty much just the same character. And even like the final battle is awful. Like all Shredder does is just become like Super Shredder, break things just so that the things he broke like falls on him, which is just pretty much karma. And oh my goodness, yeah. I don't get what people like about this movie. I hear people say, "Oh, this movie's underrated, like guilty pleasure." I don't get it. Like, there's nothing in this movie that is like worth even calling a guilty pleasure. Now, the only one minor good thing I can say about this movie is the Go Ninja rap song. Like, it is very catchy, not gonna lie. And they even reused that song in Mutant Mayhem, like, believe it or not. But if it wasn't for the Go Ninja song, this would have been bar none in my top 10 worst movies of all time. But yeah, this is hands down the worst Ninja Turtles movie. At number 6, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Oh my god. Here we go again with this one. Now, the reason as to why I put this above Secret of the Ooze is because it just irritated me less. Like it wasn't as annoying and cringeworthy and childish as the second film. The action scenes actually felt a little real this time. Unlike in the third film, the characters actually felt like they were actually hitting each other. Like not like in the second film where they were too afraid to touch each other. And there are actually some redeeming qualities, like the Japanese girl, which I already forgot the name, and the kid between Leo and Yoshi. I like those stuff. Those and the action seems decent. But on a writing standpoint, this movie is worse than Secret of Ooze. Yeah, when it comes to writing, I think this when it comes to the writing, I think this comes at the bottom. I can totally see why others would say that this is the worst Ninja Turtles movie. Even diehard fans that despise this movie. Although I hear some people say like, oh, it's not that bad, underrated because it's an old movie. Yeah, just because it's an old movie doesn't mean it's automatically good. And with this and Secret of the Ooze, like this is actually why I think 80s and 90s sequels, with a few exceptions, are not very good. They just feel so cheap, like a straight to DVD. Like they feel like a straight to DVD sequel. Like people say modern sequels ruin Hollywood, but at least they have the effort for it. At least they will feel cheap, unlike these ones like here. And they feel, and both the Ninja Turtles movies that I mentioned, they feel more like straight to DVD sequels. Like it belongs in the caliber of those direct-to-video sequels. Yeah, the whole plot is the writing is incredibly dumb. Even the concept is just so dumb. But April is just whiny. I think Paige Turco, or whatever you call her, Paige is the worst April actress. Like even worse than Megan Fox. Yeah, she's just incredibly annoying and whiny. And why recast the Judith Hoag as April from the first film? And that is just no. And also the movie is extremely forgettable. Like it's probably the most forgettable Ninja Turtles movie. So yeah. But I'd rather take a bad movie that's forgettable over a bad movie that gives me extreme anger feelings. You know, like pretty much the opposite of Schaefer does, where he prefer like a movie that gives him angry feelings over a movie that where he forget about. So yeah. At number 5, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 2014, the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie. Oh dear God, this movie. I can't believe I used to like this movie back then, but it's just like on my recent viewing, I realized that this movie is bad. It's not disastrous bad. It is it is way better. It is a masterpiece in comparison to the other two Ninja Turtles movie that I just talked about just now. But that ain't saying much. Yeah, this movie, it felt more like a Michael Bay movie than a Ninja Turtles movie. And once again, Michael Bay, even though he's just a producer, it's so obvious that Michael Bay interfered with this movie. You can tell because pretty much everything that went wrong with the Transformers movie, well, most things is represented in this film. The whole the obnoxious shaky cam and flashy lights in his action scenes, and also not to mention the incredibly slow-mo shot and focusing on the human characters rather than the title creature characters. So yeah, this is an April O'Neil movie. I would have been fine with that if they actually casted a real April. If they actually had a good April, it would have been better because April is my favorite TMNT character in general. Like when you look at all the Ninja Turtles adaptations and combine it into one, the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie is actually the only Ninja Turtles movie where April isn't the best character. And also in Ninja Turtles 3, I guess April was not the best character. At least April O'Neil, this one is better than Page 3 goes April, but yeah, Megan Fox's April is just annoying. It's just really annoying and felt miscasted. Miscasted. And the story basically has this "I don't believe you, you're crazy" cliche that we've seen multiple times before, where the main character convinces the person she's reporting to that the unusual things are actually real, which is just incredibly which is just such a cliche plot line. And yeah, the turtles were okay, I guess. Except for Mikey, I hate Mikey. There was some fun to be had here. There was some entertaining action, specifically in the final 45 minutes. No, this movie's not boring. I will give it that. It's not boring, but yeah, this but quality wise, yeah, it's just and boy, don't get me started on the villains. Like Shredder is completely ruined this one, and Eric Sachs is the worst TMNT villain, bar none. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even care anymore. I don't want to talk about this. Let's move on. At number four, TMNT 2007. This is basically the Batman versus Superman of the Ninja Turtles franchise. Where like it's a movie that got panned by critics, but then the fans are claiming it to be like a misunderstood masterpiece and one of the best in the franchise. Some even go as far as calling this film the best Ninja Turtles movie, or at least second best behind News and Mayhem. To me personally, I find this movie to be painfully average. Yeah, this is such an average movie. Now I will say though that this movie is actually passable. Yes, these next four movies from here until number one, these are all the ones that I'd actually give a pass to. Like I give a positive review. Even if this movie is not by any means that positive, yeah, I kind of like had some enjoyment out of this film. I really acknowledge this movie for I acknowledge this movie for trying to have a dark and gritty tone to it. Like this is by far the darkest the darkest Ninja Turtles movie. Like I felt like a movie that Zack Snyder would direct. Yeah, and yeah, it does take itself very seriously without much humor. But I have no problem with that because the movie actually has some really good action scenes. And this movie has one of my favorite versions of April O'Neil and Casey Jones. Love both of them together. They're by far the standouts of the movie. I think when it comes to all the Aprils, I'm not sure if I would exactly say this is the best, but this version of April is my April O'Neil crush. Yeah, I will say that. And I absolutely love the casting. Where this movie falls flat in is the writing. Like the writing is just all over the place. It's messy and it can get generic at the same time as it's just your typical the getting the band back together generic type of flood. Yeah, the story is kind of bad actually. I mean straight up bad. And the whole conflict about the monsters coming to our world, the plot line made absolutely no sense on the writing wise. It does bring in some high stakes to it, but writing wise it just made no sense. And a lot of the characters are like so wasted. Important characters like Mikey and Donnie, they're just like so like silent. Like considering that the movie is so focused on Leo and Ralph that they forget about them. And I think that this is the worst Splinter design. Yeah, I even think the Michael Bay Splinter and especially the Mutant Mayhem Splinter over this one. And the animation is very inconsistent. Some characters have great designs while others just fall flat in their faces. So yeah, it's not bad, but it is a mixed bag, a heavy mixed bag. At number three, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows. Yeah, this to me is what the first film should have been. It's yeah, everything that failed on the first film absolutely worked in this one. Is it a great movie? No. Yes, the writing can get pretty messy at times. It is far too overstuffed with like too many villains like thrown at once, and Tyler Perry as Bashir Stuntman. Like I still can't get over that. Like it's like who would like I don't know how anyone can take that Bashir Stuntman seriously with Tyler Perry playing him, and then you see his maniacal love like it just makes you cringe. But other than that, yeah, this movie is just so much fun. This is by far the biggest in scale for a Ninja Turtles movie. Yeah, like the typical Ninja Turtles movie would usually have a smaller scale to it. I think it's meant to that, but I love the idea of making this movie much bigger in scale. Like the action is bigger. Like there's like big. Like the story is big despite not being that good. Despite the story being mediocre at best. And the turtles are actually better this time. The movie actually does focus on the turtles. On the turtles. I hate to say it, but I actually liked Megan Fox's April this time around. I think this time, while Megan Fox seems so incredibly bored in the previous film, in the first film from 2014, Megan Fox's performance this one did have some improvement because at least Megan Fox looked like she was trying to have fun. Like she actually did show some emotion this time around. And I absolutely love the whole concept of the turtles being rejected by humanity and calling them monsters, but then later on the humans must come to realize that the turtles are actually the heroes and they must come to accept the turtles for who they are. I like that. I still like Vern. I actually defend Vern. Like even the first film, I think Vern is my was my favorite character in the first movie. He got a little bit more development here, especially when he's seen as a hero by many, but he's only like taking credits to cover up for the turtles. But then later on, he was being convinced to be the hero that the world thinks he is. And yeah, he came to accept that the turtles are the reason as to why they see him as heroes, and they're like the real people behind. I mean, sorry, I'm stuttering. The turtles are the real reasons. Are the real people who saved the city from the first film. Bebop and Rocksteady were also great additions, and yeah, and this movie still does feel like a Michael Bay movie, but it takes elements of the best of Michael Bay movies and puts them in this. Yeah, sure, you got your explosions and hot girls, like especially the scene with April walking here that my eyes go ooh, that song, and they even included a Bumblebee cameo on this one. Yeah, it does feel like a Michael Bay but with good intentions. Yeah, thank God for that. And there's no shaky cam. Thank God for that. Even if it still felt like a Michael Bay movie, at least Dave Reed, the director, still got to like show us a directorial flair, and I like that. Yeah. And this movie did feel more like the Ninja Turtles we know than in the first movie, and I acknowledge it for that. This movie is not great. I still really dug it, and it is certainly one of my favorite Ninja Turtles movie. But now we are getting into the truly great Ninja Turtles movie. At number two, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990, the original one. Now, I know there are some people who say that this is still the best Ninja Turtles movie, and I can totally see why. Totally see why. Because this movie is just a classic. Now, it's not great. It can feel outdated at times. There are some boring scenes in there. And the final battle is anticlimactic, especially with how Splinter defeated Shredder so easily without a real fight. At least Ninja Turtles 2014 had a real face-off between Shredder and Splinter, and that was the best part of that movie. This movie is vastly superior in quality, no doubt about it. And it does feel like a classic. I love how this movie feels like an 80s movie, despite it being released in 1990. It makes sense because at the time, movies haven't really evolved, and we were still like starting 1990s decade when this one came out. And yeah, this movie is just so enjoyable. The turtles seem like they were having so much fun, especially with their one-liners like excellent, awesome, wretched, It got annoying and old in the second film because of how much it overdid it, but in this one, the one-liners is just really good. This movie is so cheesy in all the right ways. Like a lot of movies tend to fail at being cheesy, but up to the point where it would like just annoy me. But this one just takes cheesiness to great levels. And this movie can get gritty at times. Yeah, Shredder is such a massive villain, and you don't need a robot mask, a robot suit for him to look cold and go scary. I mean, even having a cheap costume, Shredder is still such a terrifying villain, as he is the iconic traditional Ninja Turtles villain. I wish they kept him dead and secretly ooze and just have the bald head guy be the main villain. The action scenes are really good, and they felt far more realistic than its Secret of the Snooze. And this movie is also hilarious. Like this is arguably the funniest Ninja Turtles movie. There's like so much great humor that I can easily point out. And April O'Neil, top three iterations of April O'Neil, or at least maybe top four, not top three if you count the April from the Nickelodeon series. And yeah, Judith Hogue is the perfect April O'Neil. Why I still don't understand why they had to recast her. That is just shameful. And the score is a total banger. Like I can't believe I forgot to mention the score in my initial review. It's arguably my favorite aspect of the whole film. With the yeah, what a banger soundtrack, and easily my top 10 favorite scores of the 90s. Liking is always number one though, no doubt about it. So yeah, it was my number one for many years now, ever since I first saw this, but it's just been topped recently. And my number one favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Yeah, this movie is so good. And I didn't expect this movie to be a masterpiece, but it is a masterpiece. Yeah, this movie is just so good, man. Like this movie is just amazing. I just reviewed this one, so I don't know what else to say. But so I'll keep this one brief. But what makes this the best Ninja Turtles movie for me personally is just simply the way that the take of it. I know it's kind of sorry, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, it's the take of the Ninja Turtles that really makes this one the best. Like the fact that this movie is just so different, so fresh, and so unique from the rest just makes this one stand out. This movie is incredibly entertaining from start to finish. There's not a single scene that felt so dull and stuff. And also the movie is quite slow. It takes a while before the other mutants were introduced. It still feels just fun from start to finish. So from start to finish, I absolutely love every single character. The turtles in this movie felt like actual teenagers. Because you don't really get any other iterations. They don't really feel like real teenagers. They feel they feel like they're in their early 20s. And then the second and third film of the OG trilogy, they felt like less than 10 under 10 years old because of how childish they are. But this one, like they're a mix of childish and mature. And that's exactly what teenagers feel like. Splinter's at his best here. I love all the mutants, especially the ones they never introduced. Superfly is a better villain than Shredder. There, I said it. Mondo Gecko is my favorite of the mutants. The other of the Superfly family. And April O'Neil. When it comes to the character development, I think this is the best iteration of April. She just actually feels so relatable, especially to those who has something that pushes them back from fulfilling their dreams, and I love that this April feels like a new take, and y'all should stop being racist towards this April. Just stop. Just stop. And yeah, the action scenes are really good. The animation, of course, is great, especially with the Spider-Verse influential style, while trying not to be way too much like Spider-Verse, and yeah, I just love this movie. And also the message of acceptance is just really well told here, and it does have a lot of heart to it, especially when the humans redeem themselves to help the mutants and defeat Superfly. Man, that was so satisfying. And this movie has so much pop culture references that actually work. And yes, that backstory of Splinter is my favorite scene in the film. Just very tragic. So yes, this is why Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is my number one favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. So that's all for my ranking of all TMNT movies from worst to best. What is your ranking? And do you agree that Mutant Mayhem is the best Ninja Turtles movie? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review of Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. Bye guys.